Hi guys, just going to show you what I've been up to on the Zcar. So I've been having a few evenings on it, but today's a weekend, so I should get quite a bit done today. Haven't been doing too much filming because I'm just in a rush trying to get stuff done. And my dad's been doing some stuff where I'm not here as well to film, but show you what I'm up to, see where we're going with it. So first off, got the subframe. I've welded on the mount for the water pump. And obviously I can just remove that with those couple of screws there. I've cut off a couple of little brackets and things and just epoxy prime them for now. Where these plates met the floor, they weren't quite flush and I didn't want to just bolt it up and pull the floor down to it. And I could have cut them off and redid it, but to be honest, I didn't really fancy doing that. So I just got some flat bar and I've just welded it on, and now I'm going to obviously drill the corresponding holes, so I'll drill them right through that plate, and that'll just take up the slight difference without pulling the floor down all out of shape to meet it. So that needs a damn good clean now. Got all grinding dust on it, and then a quick touch up with the paint. This is where we're up to with the car. Excuse my dogs. So, exhaust tunnel has now been stone chipped with the two-part stuff. As per the inside of the car, last I said to you I wasn't too happy with it, but I spoke to the place where I bought it from, I mixed some more paint into it, tried it again, make sure it was all shook up really good, and it went on a lot better. So I'm much happier with that now. That was basically just what I had left, and I did the bottom of the bulkhead as well. In there, I found a little bit of surface rust in there, so that's been ground back, rust treated. And then I've been just paying a bit of attention, just grinding back rust everywhere. So there was quite a bit of surface rust on the inside of this wing. So that's all been treated. Hey, dogs. So up the front end, I've been paying a bit of attention to just grinding back and trying to get rid of rust basically. So in these seams, where I'd welded that on a few years ago, I hadn't ground down the welds very nicely, so I've done a better job of that. There was surface rust all under the stone chip, so that's all been ground back and treated with this rust stuff that turns black. You can see I've done that right the way across, and I've also welded up a couple of holes where somebody's fitted the wheel arches wrong in the past. It genuinely wasn't me actually, for a change. Let me just bring the car down and you can see what I've done. Right, so I just finished showing you what I've done on the front. The filler, you're not supposed to weld this joint, it's supposed to be flexible. So you fill that with a flexible sort of filler, like caulking type stuff. That cracked, so I've scraped all that out, and I've got obviously all the rust treater in there, done that both sides. And there was a little bit of rust along the top of the scuttle here, so that's all been rubbed back and treated. I've welded in the 4 plates for bonnet pins. Those ones just need sort of the edge taken off them, just round them over a little bit. Back 2 are in place, as you can see, and just more rust treatment. I hate all these little holes for self-tapping screws and all of that. So again, you can see I've put riv nuts in here for the grill. I've welded up all the little holes that they had for screwing the original grill on. And interior wise, this has had another coat of the stone chip stuff. So I'm a lot happier with that now. first coat was pretty poor, but like I say, as per the exhaust tunnel, I mixed a bit more paint into it and it's looking a damn sight better. So I feel like this is quite a good turning point, because now I can put the handbrake in, I can run the gear cables, I can put the gear linkage in, and that can stay in then. So we're actually starting to put some stuff back in. So see what we get on with today. Starting to put some things back in. Little wins that count. I'm nowhere near obviously finished with the car, but I've got the stone chip on the inside, so there's no reason why some of this stuff can't go back in. Just ticking a few jobs off. So I've put obviously the painted gear selector in. Handbrake. The way I've worked the handbrake is I've just got a threaded little hexagon nut, 30mm long, just about see it in there. So that mounts on the original mounts, the original mini mounts. So all I've done is just put that little space, basically kick it over to the side. That operates fine. I've painted the seat rails in matte black. I actually did that by hand because I thought to get under the bars and everything with a spray tin, considering I've just painted the floor as well, ended up a mess. The gear cables are in. They come as like a horrible green colour. So what I've actually done is got some fabric tape, wrapped them so they look a bit more aesthetically pleasing. And basically just blacking everything out. So I've painted the nuts and bolts black on the cables as well. So you can see where I've mounted, welded in the mount there. Oh, falling over. So they're solid. Part riveted gear, handbrake cables back in. So seat belt eyes are back in for harnesses. So got a few little jobs done in there. I've also just been touching up the subframe. So as I was showing you before, it needed some paint repairs. So I got a colour matched aerosol. I've gone over the areas that needed doing, and then I've just lacquered, because this is a two-part, so it's a base and a lacquer. That's looking pretty good, I reckon. So there was one area that had primer on before, and there was the other. So water pump bracket. So I think that's all looking pretty good. Bit of base, bit of lacquer, soon starts to look nice. So next job is to finish the stone chip under the floor, and then this can go back in and it's not coming back out again. So that's the next job. I've been doing a little bit more painting. So whoever painted this roll cage originally, it wasn't a very even paint job. it was almost pink in places where the paint was very thin. So I've rubbed it back, really nice shine on it, rubbed it back, painted it red, lacquered it. So while that's drying, I'm going to stick the subframe back in the car. It's a horrible, wet, miserable day. It's a good day to be in the garage. See if that will get me to the end. So it's landed on the next lock now. Moving the steering rack out of the way. Pulling that up. Good thing about these subframes is it's essentially on dowels. So the shape under the top of the subframe is a corresponding male and female in the bulkhead. So they basically pull up and it pulls it exactly to where it needs to be. They're in line, and then I just need to drill the others through the floor. Now I can get these bolts in, I can push the ones through down into the steering rack. Push that up into place. One. Put the nuts on the inside. So I'll crack on with those last few little fiddly bits. I thought we'd update you on what we've been up to. So as you've seen, subframe's back in. I've offered up the pedal blocks along with the brake master cylinder and a clutch master cylinder. So it did have the original Honda clutch master cylinder. Used to foul this brake adjuster bar, which was annoying, but it was functional, and I was going to reuse it, and then I broke it. So I had it on the workbench and I broke the plastic tab off for the reservoir tube, and I had a spare Wilwood reservoir, so I basically had a mess around, made it work what I think is going to work. So I just need to rig up a reservoir now somewhere and then bleed the clutch and check that it actually works. But I measured the throw and everything on the old one, and and I think I've worked it out. So interior wise, obviously now I've put the pedals in. You'll note I've actually changed the pedal pad itself. I cut off the sort of hexagon shaped mini ones and made those sort of curved ones, and I'm going to put some grip tape on them, and they're in a wrinkle black paint. And see, this steering column system still tack welded on. So now that the seat rails are fully welded in, I've bolted the seat in properly, so that's now solid. I've got the little adapter piece I needed for the steering wheel, which was there. The little collar. So I've sat in, offered all that up. Nothing fouls, brake pedal doesn't hit down the bottom. So I'm quite pleased with that. Let me just pan you out. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. So I'm going to fully weld that in now. And then I'm going to probably just hang fire, but then I'll fully weld all the column up as well. So making some nice progress now.